Come on. Come on. There you go.
Oh, this is
busted his
wrong.
lip.
Oh my God! Look at what you did to him! Oh my God! Oh my
Good work, guys. Good work. Way to go.
This is horrible.
It's some idiots yelling "good work." They bloodied this doctor's lip. They're explaining it's an older doctor, and he just said that he didn't want to get off the plane, but they injured this guy and hurt him and drug him off the plane, and everyone had to watch this. Not a good way to treat a doctor trying to get to work because of being overbooked. United has some splaining to do. Not very, very cool. And scared a lot of people aboard. You don't treat people like that, and you don't injure people like that. This is a doctor. This guy saves lives every day, and you injure him. Can you say lawsuit? Can you say lawsuit? I could not imagine after what they did to this guy and humiliated him. Injured him, humiliated him. It's just the unthinkable. That's an excess amount of force. 3-4 guys dragging this poor doctor and just ripped him. Ripped him from the seat. Yes, Palm Sunday, the attacks in Egypt, the two locations, Palm Sunday bombings, targeting worshipers, celebrating the start of the Holy Week. And you've probably seen pictures. Very, very sad. The first blast occurred at St. George Church at Tanta, which left 27 dead there. And then the second was St. Mark's Cathedral in Alexandria, which left 17 others dead, including 3 police officers. One of the victims, he says, I felt fire grabbing my face. This is one of the victims, like I said, of the Tanta attack. He told the state TV from the hospital, I pushed my brother, who was sitting next to me, and then I heard people saying explosion. Another victim told Reuters she saw body parts scatter after the blast. Folks, ISIS, again, ISIS is a cockroach, and it's an evil that doesn't care. And Christians are being slaughtered kind of like cockroaches, killing them left and right, and that's what they want to do. And they definitely claimed responsibility and said that they are the infidels. So if you claim that you're a Christian, you're the infidel to ISIS. And they have followers all over the world. And what's most scary that a lot of people forget living in America is that, remember, in all 50 states, there's ongoing ISIS investigations for ISIS sympathizers. ISIS sympathizers. They live here. They live amongst us. And waiting for their marching orders. And this is what, folks, the Bible talks about in the end days. Don't be surprised. Don't be shocked if you're a Christian and you see these things. I am. But it is days like this when you see things that are going on around the world. I mean, come on, admit it. With the escalation in the Korean Peninsula, with Russia, with Iran, with Christians being slaughtered, it just really, things are heating up. A lot of people worry about the ramifications, things that have gone on with our military striking in Syria, what the backlash might be. Of course, Russia not happy. Rex Tillerson going to try to talk some sense into Putin. But with the G7 in Italy, hopefully something can be accomplished, but things are definitely heating up, no doubt. Here's Rex Tillerson right now.
If you violate international norms, if you violate international agreements, if you fail to live up to commitments, if you become a threat to others. At some point, a response is likely to be undertaken.
Do you realize, folks, millions have been slaughtered in Syria? It's unbelievable. There's still, apparently, there's a new report that came out over the weekend. We haven't been able to verify it, but some on the ground there say that he's gassing people, with chemicals, chlorine gas. Hasn't been confirmed, but there's a possibility of that. And with the airfields, we've been reporting on this story too. They did rebuild, patched up large places in the runways where it was just blasted to smithereens. It's not a difficult thing if you have the materials and trucks and manpower to be able to repatch up the runways, but they did. And was it Lindsey Graham? He said it was basically Syria's way of saying a big middle finger to America for what we had done. What we did is what the Obama administration didn't. They thought that diplomacy, by talking, playing patty cakes, because that's what was being played, patty cakes, was going to solve the problem. But instead, tens of thousands of people dead, injured, because of a presidency that certainly failed in foreign policy in a big way and did not know what was going on. And Assad certainly had chemical weapons. Remember this.
We were able to find a solution that actually removed the chemical weapons that were known from Syria in a way that the use of force would never have accomplished.
Did you hear that? She removed it. It almost sounded like she actually went in on her own accord, right? And just made sure that she confiscated all the gas. They clearly had gas, and he used it, and he'll use it again. He'll use it again. Unreal. Folks, we live in dangerous times, perilous times, and America is going to act in its interest. And people ask, well, what is our interest? You know what? Think about all the things that have gone downhill in the Middle East because of an 8-year administration, 6 years at least, playing patty cake, the Obama administration, that is, and Susan Rice, with Syria. But 8 years, Russia been able to put a foothold with a naval base. And there's so many other reports with Russia being able to put their foot in other places around the globe because we didn't show leadership. With Voidzar, meddling with other countries, setting up shops to spy on us and to put our military in a vicarious situation. Some of those conversations, I would bet a large chunk of conversation is going to be to do with what's up with spying on America, what's up with meddling in the election, what's up with the flybys, with our Navy ships, what's up with you threatening us, what's up with propping up Assad's government, allowing this guy to gas and kill innocent men, women, and children. Is that the kind of Russia that you want to be? See, Russia could do the right thing. They could very easily and get rid of Assad, keep their naval base, still have some influence in the region, and team up with us and fight ISIS and come out looking good. Come out looking good. But they don't have a seat per se on the G7. Putin, he got his butt kicked out of that. So they're meeting separately from Russia today on that, but Rex Tillerson, in Moscow. And they'll come up with some solutions, I'm sure. But is it ones that we're going to actually like? They're giving us lines in the sand right now, drawing them in there. And I just don't think that Rex Tillerson is going to sit there and allow us to be pushed around since we actually acted in strength. But he's got a big job to do. Yeah, he's part of that. Rex Tillerson, along with the 6 other groups of the 7 foreign ministers. Yeah, he's part of that. correction. But he's aiming to send Russia a clear message from Washington in the wake of the U.S. response of these gas attacks from Syria. So Tillerson, British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, Japanese Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida, and then the other ministers aim to pressure Russia to end its support for Syrian President Bashar Assad after a tumultuous week. So the U.S. received broad support, as you know, folks. Europe, after the airstrikes, Italian Foreign Minister Angelo Alfano was hosting the meeting. Nice setting, by the way, in Italy. It's going to be a renewal for the G7, they said, because of the strike. They said it was a good one. It contributed to a renewal harmony between the U.S. and its partners ahead of the first meeting of the G7 foreign ministers, said President Trump's office. He says, we need to remember that not 10 years ago, but 100 or 120 days ago, the concern in Europe was the United States, and the EU was moving apart. Alfano said Sky to TG24 Sunday, I welcome this renewed harmony. See what happens when America does what it should do? We weren't asking to start another war. We were coming to the rescue of the innocent. We come to the rescue of the people that could not defend themselves from gas. Yes, there's a civil war going on. Maybe we don't want to be involved with that, but gas? They violated the treaty. Clearly violated. Susan Rice assured us they don't have any gas. What's interesting about all of this is that Russia knew they had gas, and Putin has egg all over his face. Kremlin egg. Omelets. They look like crap. They knew he had this. They didn't hide it from the Russians. They knew, and they were doing it when the Russians were there. Do you think any Russians actually died because of the gas attack? No. They were fully aware that it was going to be executed. I mean, this is pure evil. So Tillerson needs to do his job and let him know that we're not going to back down. And yeah, there is an escalation. You got Russian warships going there. That's kind of concerning for admirals looking at what's going on right now. And they're not happy with these Russian naval activities. The flybys, the arrogance, if you will, and the just disrespect that's going on. And who am I talking about specifically? Navy Admiral Michael Howard, who leads NATO's Allied Joint Force Command in Italy and commends the U.S. naval force in Europe and Africa. He told Reuters that Russia's activities have increased. He says, though, that the size of its navy is smaller than it was during the height of the Cold War. He says, we are seeing more activity that we didn't even see when it was the Soviet Union. It is presently active and more than I care to say. Howard said that Moscow's deployment of Admiral Kuznetsov, the aircraft carrier to the Mediterranean Sea, is increased movements in the North Atlantic and the Arctic, and submarine moves back and forth in the Black Sea, all cause for concern. He says they are a global navy. He says, I understand that, but the activity in this theater has substantially moved up in the past couple years, she said. And then Howard also linked the naval activities to the increased Russian cyber attacks, like I said, the flybys from Russia's aircraft near U.S. warships. And Howard's comments come on the heels of those 59 Tomahawk missiles at Syria Air Base in response of chemical weapons. So a big discussion there and moving forward and how they will. Yeah, the other story, was in Nicaragua. This was reportedly, this is a very intriguing story here. A new Russian compound in Nicaragua has reportedly intrigued U.S. officials who are skeptical of its intended use. They're saying it's like a radar station. I have no idea, one woman who works at the telecom agency in Nicaragua said that they are Russian and they speak Russian and they carry around Russian apparatuses. Current and former U.S. officials have expressed concern that Russia building could be used to spy on Americans and gather